So guys, once again, the subject is love, and sorry we was having technical difficulties, but now we can hear better. I hooked up the mic. So
she said something that very stood out to me. She said about love for self. Why do you think love for self is essential? I'll start first. For me, love is important is because when you love yourself, you can love others. And if you don't know your worth, you won't be able to know other people's worth. So, but I wanted to know your perspective on why love for self is essential.
Just as you stated, it's essential to love yourself because it enables you to know who you are. And also you have an opportunity to share an aspect of yourself that you love with someone else to love. So that's loving imperfection, perfection, and having someone to mirror that. And love of family stems from that as well. So it's not even just loving self, it's just coming from that background of love, which stems from home, because everything starts at home. Most people lack that at home, which is why it's hard for them to love themselves or another person.
Wow. That's real. That's true.
That's like a lot of black males that grew up in a home without a father. Like, it's hard for them to show and express love, to get caught up within the confines of masculinity, and then they can't love because they grew up without love.
You gotta have self-love before you can even love another person. That is so true.
That's true.
That is so true.
That's true, Ernest, because a lot of people, they don't even love themselves. I guess, I don't know, maybe it stems from low self-esteem or things that they've been through or the way they've been treated in the past, but they let that affect the way they see themselves.
Somebody made a comment. Somebody said that love is hard for some people because they were never taught love. How can we teach love? Just wanted to ask your perspective on that.
Okay. Well, as you know, everything starts at home. That's why the home, you know the saying when they say the home is where the heart is? Because that's where love resides. And for some that have not been accustomed to having that nurturing aspect of love, either from both parents or a single parent, you know, somehow the Most High brings people into your life for you to experience it. So no one has never fallen short of love. It's a matter of, are you ready to receive it? Can you recognize it when it comes? Irregardless if you have not received it or not. You know the difference between right and wrong. So it's about, you know, opening your mind and being real with yourself. Most people are not ready for what they really desire because there's a lot of work they have to do, like heal from trauma. A lot of people's been traumatized growing up. You know, for example, some women feel like if a man, you know, if they're accustomed to watching their mother getting beat by their father, so they wind up attracting that same type of mate. Vice versa for the men. You know, and so there's never, so the pattern is it's like a vicious pattern. So it takes for a person to be mature and to recognize, you know what, there's something much more healthier than this.
Somebody asked a question. Somebody said that, what if the home is messed up?
But that's what I mean. If the home is messed up, you see, that's why the Most High is so loving and so compassionate and merciful, because the Most High will bring somebody into your life to give you that experience that you have not experienced. So you will never, it doesn't matter if you've never received love from home, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, the Most High is loving and will bring that experience to you because you're supposed to have it. You're supposed to have it.
You get a lot of love over here. You get likes. Okay. I know when you live stream, you're gonna see when people like yourself on both ends. You know.
You know, this is my first time being on live.
What?
First time.
This is where it's at. I'm
telling you. Because you get to interact with your friends and the people on your page. Like me, for example, I went through many different relationships and many different relations with a lot of different women until I was finally able to, you know, find my wife and settle down. But I remember my first relationship, it was probably based on the wrong things. It was more based on looking good for the picture, but then when the cameras was closed, the relationship wasn't perfect. Ironically, she became a photographer, so she was too caught up with the actual picture, but not the actual life, you know? Like I know we used to get dressed up and take pictures, but then the relationship was like a childish one. Then the relationship afterwards, the girl loved me more than I loved her, and it was difficult for me to show her the love back.
Wow.
To the point where when we broke up, she was like, at least let me have your child. That way I could have a part of you that I could always love even when we're not together.
Wow.
Like I told her like I couldn't do something like that because I wasn't ready for all that, you know? I was only 21, she was like 19 turning 20. We were young at the time. I wasn't ready for love. And then afterwards, like I got into another relationship with a girl that loved me, and I wasn't ready neither. I was finding myself. I was graduating college, and you know, I was experiencing life, and she was ready to settle down, and I wasn't ready. So through my selfishness, I hurt a lot of women, you know? And then after that, I remember I went through I guess a promiscuous phase where I went from woman to woman to woman to woman. And like I was living fast, so I was attracting fast women, and as soon as the relationship came, it went. But it was like I was engaging, at that time I was broken, so I engaged with a lot of broken women because the energy I was putting out was what I received back. And so it wasn't until like I started to build my relationship with God and I started to fix myself from within that I started like changing myself and attracting the people that like I was attracting. And then when I met my wife, like she was going through her situation in life, I was going through my situation in life, and it's almost like we was like the missing piece of both of each other's lives. And then it's almost like we gave each other balance within the hectic world itself. So like she was more so like my friend, like my best friend, and we used to just sit up late nights and just talk about life and stuff. And then like love formed, and you know, we both said I do.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens when you meet that one, that soulmate. Because there's different levels of mates. There's the soulmate, and then you have your twin flame.
What is a twin flame?
Well, a twin flame is someone that you have a lot in common with. And sometimes they'll come into your life to prepare you for your next journey.
Yeah, I've been through those.
So it can be a good relationship, a twin flame, because it's a reflection of yourself and this person. So it could be really good and grow into something solid, or it can be something just transitory until this person is helping you to evolve in some kind of way until you meet that soulmate.
That's true.
It's like a summertime thing.
Like,
you know, sometimes, like, you know how sometimes you have a summertime fling, like y'all vibe.
Yes, that's the.
But you know, like once it hit winter, like they just won't make it.
Well, that one is called the catalyst.
The catalyst.
What is the catalyst? I'm learning.
The catalyst is the person that comes because there's information they want to give you, and they want to express themselves to you, and you expressing yourselves to them. So they're just there to help you evolve, to get you to either open up more aspect of yourself that you're not opening, get you out of your bad behaviors, get you to recognize yourself more until you meet that soulmate. See, at the end is to meet that soulmate. So sometimes you'll have a whole bunch of love ties. You'll find people that you feel like, damn, I'm in love with him or her, but it's short-lived because there was something not balancing to make it that oneness. But it was purposeful for the union to happen.
It's like what they say, some people come in your life for a reason, some people come in your life for a season, some people come in your life just to come and go. Shout out to the viewers. I see a couple viewers.
I see a couple of comments.
I see Terry. I see Philip. Yo, what up? I see Mike.
I'll definitely give you 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We'll focus on that, but I'm definitely liking what I'm hearing right now. Like, oh my God.
It's crazy how we met a random person in the library, and then you're smart and you know so much about the subject that we're talking about. You see, nothing happens
for a reason.
Randomly. Everything happens for a reason.
Well, you know, this is the time that we're in. This is the time of coming together and raising our higher consciousness. You know, because it's time. It's time. We're divine spiritual beings, and as I was telling the pastor here, that, you know, it's about bringing divinity now.
Yeah.
Because we have the divine within us. It just needs to reflect more in our actions, in our words, and our deeds.
Yeah, that's true.
That's real.
They said to be a good Christian, you not only have to talk it, you got to walk it. A lot of people, I guess, like they perpetrate, like they put on a costume or a mask, but then in everyday life, they don't really live that life. They said that, like, I guess, like you saying, like your family's a reflection of that. Some people, like, it's one thing at home, it's another thing in church.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or wherever they might be.
Man, they getting on me. They want me to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Okay, so we're going to go 1 Corinthians chapter 13, if we may, verse 1. Okay, we're going to go to that. These guys are getting on me. Okay, so let's just go to the first verse. Oh, my God. These guys are punching me to the head. I got you. Okay, so, I'm holding this phone, but I'm also flicking as well, too. So, bon your chance, okay? Don't kill me, all right? I'm going to give you our scriptures, all right? So, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. The first one is, okay, and if I speak, this guy, now he's excited. If I speak in the tongues of man and of angels but have no love, I become a noisy gong or clanging cymbal. What do you guys get from that? From that perspective right there? I mean, for me, what I get is I get a cacophony. A cacophony is an annoying sound. You feel me? Okay.
You said it.
Okay. Second, if you want to say about before, I go ahead. Second verse, are you good? Okay, I'm continue. Okay, next one. If I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith, just to remove mountains, but have no love, I am nothing. Anything you guys want to say about that? You want your scriptures? Anybody want to say anything about that?
I think it's saying basically, if you're talking just to talk, but you're not talking from the heart, all you're doing is just making noise.
Yeah.
Because I realize a lot of times when I preach or whenever I talk to people, they say that the thing that touches the most is when you speak from the heart. Like what I try to do in most of my sermons, I try to put myself into everything that I'm saying. I use real life examples of myself so that they could understand that I'm not just talking just to talk. I'm talking because I actually lived it. And like she was saying, like we're living in that time. We're living in that time with transparency where if someone knows that you're fake, they're gonna see that. And if you're real, they're gonna see that too. Especially with the young generation, like the youth, they see who's real and who's not. I think that's why there's such a disconnect between the old and the new right now. Because a lot of the older people, like I guess they fake it sometimes, and they don't want to keep it real with the younger generation.
I have to answer this. I think what we really meant is help meet. Help meet. These guys are getting on me on scripture. Help meet. The wife that God has for you, the husband that God has for you. That's what we mean. Understandable. So sorry, I continue. I'm so sorry. These guys are just going.
Yeah.
You know these scripture guys, huh?
Yeah. So like, I guess in regards to love, it gotta be like a pure love.
Yeah.
Say for example, like Jesus Christ, he had a pure love. Like even the woman at the well, he waited for that woman to return.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we give up on people too soon. As in like, there could be individuals that like, even sometimes in a relationship, you know, it could be someone that was really meant for you, but like you was so caught up that like you was just like, nah, I don't got time for this. You ain't want to wait for that love to develop, or you didn't want to wait for that love to come, or you did not want to, I guess, wait for yourself to develop. Some people like, they're like, I'd rather just move on than try to work the situation that I'm in right now. It's like even a marriage takes time. Like a lot of people are in a rush to get married, but they're not in a rush to develop real love and a spiritual connection between the two.
Yes.
Shout out to Earl, what's up, boy?
Yes. Somebody also gave another scripture. He gave like, I think Luke's. Remember, I'm holding the phone and I'm also using the papier, boom, yon chance. Give me a chance. Luke 6, my man said verse 35. Want to just read that real quick. You know, I don't want to have no problems with nobody. It says, okay, be merciful. No. It says, beloved your enemies and do good, and lend, expect nothing in return, and your Father will be great, and you will be the sons of the Most High, for He's kind to the ungrateful and the selfish. Somebody said, talk about your enemies.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
who would like to start?
This,
Okay, ladies first.
well, you know, I have a different perception about that because I find that to be a very dangerous thought process to keep enemies closer I don't see how that is going to make them your ally. Because if you're not working to make your foe your ally, then you get rid of them. Why would you want someone around you that don't like you and that want to bring harm to you? All you're doing is making it easy for them to attack you.
That's real.
So from a spiritual perspective, first, I don't see that righteous to have an enemy around that does not have love for you.
That's real.
You know what I mean? Some people are not meant to be in your circumference. If they're not light, like a feather, meaning pure, because that's how I view purity, light like a feather.
That's real.
And it's hard for people's hearts to be light like a feather. Most people's hearts are very heavy. So when I think of an enemy, I think of someone with a heavy heart that has issues that they have to contend with and contend with the Most High with. So I do not recommend that. I just send them away with love and peace. Or if you have enough compassion and mercy and forgiveness for them in your heart, then you turn that foe into your ally.
Somebody asked, should we just not only love our enemies, and I love our enemies? Let me just add on to this. The thing is that with what you're saying, I agree. And to an extent, like, I don't think the Lord was telling us that we should destroy our enemies or hate on our enemies, but we should be able to be wise enough, with discernment. Oh Lord, these guys put me on.
No, but that's why you have discernment, because the
exactly.
discernment is to protect you from danger.
Exactly.
So I mean,
I don't think in no way we're saying that we should attack our enemies.
No, it's not about attacking.
Because the thing is that these people are going in. They're going in. Like,
right.
So we should.
But this is the thing I find interesting.
Yes.
Is that even if you go to the scriptures, but are you really practicing that you're pulling from the scriptures on a daily day? Or are you just pulling it just for mere conversation?
Exactly.
Because if it's not the walk that you're walking with, then you need some more inner reflection to match words, deeds, and action.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I find a lot of people are so quick to throw the verse and throw scriptures, but sometimes they don't bear that in their hearts. It's not in the action.
Come on now.
It's really not. Like,
back to me now.
It's like a lot of people want to show off that they know the Bible, but they don't know life.
We have a lot of devout Jesus followers, but to keep it very real with you, Jesus did not consume pork. Jesus showed a lot of mercy and compassion and forgiveness. And most people don't show that on a daily, but yet are seeking that from Christ, but you're not giving that to your brother and sister or your neighbor.
Now you put the topic on? No, you put the topic, you got your answer now.
You're not doing that.
That's
so
right,
it's like we need to be very honest about how we project ourselves.
That's true.
If you're going to be a spiritual being, then show that compassion and show that mercy and show that forgiveness, just like Jesus did.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think the whole forgive your enemy, like in life, like I've had to forgive a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not for them, but for myself. Sometimes you just gotta move on, you know.
Yeah.
Like, may peace be upon you and go about your way.
Yeah.
If it's a situation where we could pass over and then keep working together and for the greater good, then let's do that. But if it's a situation where I have to just let you go and act like I never met you, then that's fine too.
I'll keep it real. Like, for example, we had a little misunderstanding. I thought he was coming at me wrong, and I came at him wrong because I thought he was coming at me wrong. But I misunderstood. You feel me? I want to just make it plain, because to make practical. And I came at him wrong because I thought he was coming at me wrong. We sat at the table. We're not gonna just make it plain because you're not gonna be practical. We came at the table. We sat as two men. We prayed and we sorted out the situation, and we good. But however, there's certain individuals. We gotta be honest.
Yes,
certain individuals that are very manipulative, that are very deceptive. They don't want to change their ways. They don't want to compromise. They don't want to build, and they're just out there just to get and to scheme and to plot and to dismantle.
Because that heart is cool. That heart chakra is compromised.
Exactly. If I put ourselves out there, you feel me? But we're just making it plain. But, those people, you can love them from a distance. We're not coming for you. We're not applying for you. We know you're a bed bug. You want to suck people dry, it's okay. We have no problems. We have nothing against you.
Yeah, they're called energy vampires.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Let's keep it real. We're plagued all over with energy vampires. The ones that come around, you feel drained, and they only come to drain you. And they're not coming to give, they're coming to take. And mind you, they resent you, which is why they're draining you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But never once
I got enemies.
You know what? I like your energy. What can I do to get my energy to be like yours? Wow. Not one person can do that because of the ego.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ego.
And I want to be clear too.
The ego must go.
Wow. I got to be clear too. When I add what you're saying, Jesus did not chill with the Pharisees. Just to let you know, the people that wanted to kill him and destroy him, he wasn't really with them. I want to just be clear upon that.
Because I was about to say
he was clear on that. He trained up gangsters. You feel me? Hood cats. You feel me? That is the reality. I gotta just say that. You feel me?
I'm so okay. So now I'm gonna say what I really want to say.
Say what you say. Let's go. Yeah. Say it.
Yes, because we have to balance information in degrees.
No, we have to.
We have to balance, and we have to use good judgment.
Yeah.
And the good judgment comes from the heart.
Yes.
It doesn't come from the mind. It doesn't, because the ego controls a lot of things, and it does not allow for the heart to come forth.
Wow.
So because of that, most people will hold back.
That's true.
The capacity of love that they have for another person because of ego, or I don't want to look weak, or I don't want to look like I'm a sucker. And it's like, no, you're showing that you are a decent person.
Wow.
And it's okay to be decent. It's okay to be mushy. It's okay to open that door, even for another brother. You walking out, you see somebody coming behind you, hold the door. It's you know what I mean? That's all proper mannerism. That's all righteous. That's all good energy.
That's real.
Sometimes it's good to just give somebody a compliment instead of eyeballing this man or woman and making them feel uncomfortable for looking good or feeling good. Pay this person that compliment.
Wow.
So there are things that people can do on a daily basis. A daily act of kindness every day can not only strengthen their spirit, but affirms the esteem.
Wow, that's real. Yo, you preaching.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I went through a similar situation like that in life where, like, I used to have these youth programs every month. I used to have one. And then people used to always come out and support me. First people that supported me were like quote unquote circular people. They were the ones that supported me first.
Wow.
And the irony in that situation is that like it got to a point where we was so popular, we was doing so much that people try to stop what it was that we was doing. Like this person once told me, "Oh, you're posting too much online. You're putting your flyers too many places. Less is more." And I actually took their advice, and when I did, I stopped posting so much. I stopped having my events the way I used to have them. It drained a lot of my energy. I was like, maybe I'm doing too much. Then I was getting criticized because, the bigger your platform is, the more it allows people to criticize what you're doing. Even if they can't do it themselves, they're going to continue to criticize everything that you're doing. Like, okay, you could change that, you could change that, you could change this. It's easy for a spectator to look at the stage and tell you what you could do different, but they'll never step to that stage themselves. So like when I fell back, because all this energy was being drained out of me and people telling me, oh, I should change this, I should change that.
Bedbugs.
It caused my whole program, my whole system to fall off. People was like, you're not posting as much as you used to. What happened to your programs? You're not doing as much programs as you used to. What happened? I'm like, yo, people was telling me I was doing too much. She was like, what? Because now you're not doing enough. And I'm like, wow. And I feel like if we would have kept that same energy the whole entire time, we would have been big, bro. Like bigger than we are now. But consistency is key. That's why we're trying to be consistent with the show. That's why we're here every week. We're going to have a new guest every week. I thank you for being here with us today, speaking about
the
love.
The energy was real. The energy was a mixture of Coretta Scott King and Betty Shabazz. Oh, my God. Yo, there's hope out there. There's hope out there. Yo, there's some good sisters. Don't sleep, y'all. Yes. Anything else you guys want to say? I mean, I can continue with the next verse.
Yeah, go to the next verse.
That's what it says. If If I gave away all I have, and if I deliver my body to be burned, but have no love, I gain nothing. What you guys get from that? I get that from this. I get the intention has to be right. If then you can give something, but if the intention is diverted, not in truth or sincerity, it's not worth it.
What I got from it is like, I take it literally, as in like, if you never loved, if you never experienced love, if you never like loved someone with your all, shared your life with somebody, you never got married, you never had children, then like that phase of your life, since you did not experience it, it's almost like it's kind of incomplete versus if you did have it. I feel like the purest love that you could get is from a child. Like, because that child, they don't really want nothing from you except for love.
Wow. That's real.
And I heard that like if a baby just lays in a crib and no one picks it up and no one plays with it, that baby could die from lack of love. It's actually love that makes it grow. Wow. Like, it sounds crazy, but like stuff like that is true. Just like a plant. Like, if you water a plant and you look at the plant every day, the plant starts to grow. Same as a child. You don't see when a child grows, but a child grows. It's like if you don't see a kid for like a month or two and then you see the kid like, oh, you got bigger. Wow. Like, when did this happen? Wow. But like it's cool. Like, you know, when you come home from work and your kid runs up to you, daddy jumps in your lap, you pick him up, you give him a kiss on the head, you kiss your wife, you know, you have dinner together. Like, that's a different kind of love, you know. You can't purchase that or fake that. Wow. You know, it's a different kind of love from the love outside where people just love you because of what you do, the work you have, or the car you drive, or what you wear, or what you do for a living, or what you help them. This a different type of love versus the love that you have at home.
That's real. Any perspective? I mean, I love when you speak because you
I say, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And you know, as I stated, it's just recognizing the many signs that the Most High is showing you love. Like you could not have it from home. You could have not had it, you know, from family. But you know, everything is conceived of love. That's first and foremost. Life comes from love. Wow. So with that in mind, there's absolutely no way, unless you're a blind person and you can't see, but even a blind person can sense love. Yeah. They may not see it from the person, but they can feel it because love is an energy, is what I'm saying. So it's a simple thing. Wow. And how you can feel that feeling. Like I said, an act of gesture, an act of kindness is a form of love. Wow. So somewhere, somehow, a person experiences it. It's how you cherish it. It's how are you able to see it? Are you able to recognize it when it comes? And it's not within grand gestures. It's the smallest intentions. Wow.
That's real, man. Yo, I'm blown away, man. Yo, it's crazy. You got me in my head. Blown away. First statement. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. Okay? I want to just say this part. Love is not envious. It is content on what it has and is happy for what you have. That's what I got from that. It's not mean and green like the hawk. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, we have forgotten how to associate spirituality with love. Wow. Love has been conveyed in a commercialized, material type thing. Like, I love my shoes, I love this car, I love this person and this. You know what I mean?
Day is like spending money.
Right. Wow. It's not, you know, love comes from creation. Love is about having sustaining relationships. These are the experiences. This is why we exist. Yeah. So that we can continuously recreate life through love. And show the many degrees and aspects of love. That's real. Many degrees, there's many aspects. And you know, it's just wanting that and being healthy within yourself to receive it. You would have to come from that heart to receive it. It can't be superficial. You can't be superficial, but yet expect for something pure.
Yeah, that's true. Like one of the purest loves you would get is from your mother, you know? How your mother's always going to be there to hold you when you cry. It was a rap, but Kevin Gates, he said that, yeah, I'm a rapper, and when I'm on stage, fans say that they love me, but that's not real love. Love to me is like the woman that I go home to at night, the one that holds me at night, that I could rub her hands through my hair and pick things out of my nails and rub my back, when I'm feeling sick, to make me some tea. Like, that's love to me, Everything else that's fake, like, y'all could keep that, like, And I feel like love is patient. Love does take a lot of patience, because when two people from different walks of life try to become one, it's going to take time. Even when you know a friend for years, you're always going to disagree about certain things. You're going to argue about certain things. You're going to fight about certain things. So imagine someone that you're going to see every day that you got to live with. Like, there's going to be disagreements. But the fact that you love them, you're going to take your time to deal with that, because you could easily dismiss it and walk away. The easiest thing to do is walk away when you're in love. The hardest thing is to hold it down, And that's why a lot of people nowadays, they're scared of commitment. They're scared of sticking to one thing. And that's why a lot of people nowadays are scared to get married. They see it as such a commitment that they can't stick to, And that has transgressed into a lot of different parts of our lives.
True.
Like, because we're failures to commit in love, it's hard for us to commit to a job. It's hard for us to commit to like a trade. It's hard for us to commit to like a profession, and we just jump from thing to thing to thing, and we lack stability within our lives and more than one part of our lives, and it hurts us. It stunts our growth to a certain extent, if we're to be honest.
That's real.
I mean, is it safe to say that, just to add on to what you said, a lot of, sometimes we overlook the damaging parts of our lives, especially when it comes to slavery. A lot of those that you speak of,
that's part of that,
were kind of indoctrinated. So
Willie Lynch.
let's just say that as time evolved, certain things were never brought back into alignment in terms of like a mode of production. Because when I say a mode of production, like we are great divine beings. Our legacies extends all the way from building pyramids, like our ancient ancestors built. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
Black people.
Because some people, especially my lovely Christian brothers and sisters, tend to put the blinders on because of what was indoctrinated in regards to that.
But that's
very vital.
I wanted to actually. The thing is that I wanted to say this to add what you're saying. There's a book called Africa Roots in God, and a misconception that has been taught is that white people taught God, when the reality is if you look at it. Have you ever heard this woman named Jane Elliott? She had this brown-eyed, blue-eyed.
Jane Elliott, the name sounds familiar.
She was an Oprah. She's an Oprah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically talking about.
It was an old episode.
Old episode. She's an old white woman. She talks about how racism is a psychological disorder.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a psychological disorder. She talks about how basically that there has not been a single religion that was started by a white person.
Right.
And that is like the truth.
Right.
That is the truth.
Right.
So basically, what I wanted to add, what you're saying is, we had God.
Right.
We had God. Jesus. I mean, we had God. Like
we have God.
We have.
How about we are that? It's within.
God is with us.
We've been taught to look outside, to seek God's face outside.
It's within us.
It's within.
Of course, it's an image.
Remember, we was made in His image, and it's the spirit of God in us that even keeps us alive. Because remember, in the book of Genesis, it said that we was only dirt until He blew breath into our lungs and we became man. And in the book of Job, it said that we all have the spirit within us, and it's the spirit that helps us to understand and gives us knowledge and understanding. We all have it in us. Even in the Acts of the Apostles, it says after Jesus died and He arisen into heaven, He spoke to the disciples through the Spirit. And Jesus could speak to us. God could speak to us. In the Bible, God speaks to a bunch of people. It's just that we lost our way. We don't tap into that part of our cerebral. Because remember, us as humans, we don't even use our entire brain. We only use a small portion of it.
That part right there is it's a
misconception.
It's a mistruth. Because we are divine beings, and our melanin is what makes us so powerful. Our melanin is what enables to heal like that. Europeans, on the other hand, are the left brain thinkers. They're not, because of the fact that they lack melanin, they're not able to grasp higher consciousness like we can, which is why they have a lack of belief in the Most High. Because for them, they can't see it, it doesn't exist. And they have done so much to illustrate that.
That's true.
And they've even had our people starting to think that type of philosophy.
That's true.
To where they start questioning.
That's true.
And forgetting that they're looking at the divine. Within them is them. So there's just a lot of misconceptions that needs to be, brought back into alignment. And because at the end of the day, the Most High created everything in female, male, and female. Everything is in pairs. Everything is a balance, which is why we have male and female masculinity within us, so that we can relate to each other that much more intimately. So there is never a doubt in terms of it's hard for men to relate to women. That's untruth, because you have a feminine aspect, energy within yourself that enables you to understand me, to know me. And just like I have a male energy within me that enables me to know you fully.
One flesh. Wow.
Right. So now what completes the knowing is you opening your heart now and sharing who you are. Because I can relate to you now because I have that same energy that you are as a male. And because we don't come from that perspective is where genders is confused. You have men who want to be women, women who want to be men. The roles have been compromised because the wires are dismantled within.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go.
No. You said it so we don't have to.
That is what's missing in the church.
And it was so crazy. You know what's so crazy to add on.
Shout out to Freedom, shout out to Girlin for checking in.
To add on to what you're saying, the thing is that Dr. Umar Johnson talked about how in slavery homosexuality was used. I don't know if you ever heard that, to use to emasculate
the man.
The man.
Yes, it was. They took the strongest man and broke his manhood down in front of everybody to humiliate him first, psychologically and spiritually. Like, you're not divine, first and foremost. You're nothing. And then I embarrassed you and you're a grown man and look what happened. You know what I mean? So all sorts of things starts happening to that man, to where now he loses an aspect of himself because it was taken away. And that has never been
fixed. That
has never been restored. And then we have women who are broken by being manhandled by the European man in front of the black man. So now she looks at her black man like, you big dummy, you can't do nothing for me. I don't even want you. I don't even respect you. I'm going to go with this white man, which is why a lot of white women till this day go with white men.
A lot of black women go with white men.
Yes, till this day.
Yeah.
And it's because of that reminder, and then through time they've been told, well, you know what? Black men don't want to commit. Black men have found themselves in a very precarious type of position where they're fending for themselves so much that they have lost their ground. Yeah, they have lost their ground. It takes courage, okay? It takes courage, it takes honesty to be honest about these things. This is why our generation is so held back. We are so regressed because we're not addressing issues that we really need to address. Everybody's too sensitive. Everybody's scared to say this, scared to say that. But yet we have people telling our stories constantly about who we are, constantly, because
making false narratives.
We're not stepping up the plate and being proactive, or at least unifying to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I notice about all the races, they may have issues, but they all band together.
That's what we talked about last week.
Why do you think that we lack that? From your perspective?
It's systematic first and foremost.
Okay.
And truth be told, this was something that was already instituted. Let's just say that we were left out of the boardroom when all the races sat down at the round table and discussed the plight on keeping...
Who gets what?
No, not even just that, but to reinforce keeping the black man and woman down consistently. I was sitting down with a sister friend who I just met her, mind you.
Who's that?
Her.
You just met her?
Just met her.
I thought you guys were for.
Just met her.
Wow.
And I said to her, "Did you ever see the movie The Great Gatsby?" And she said, "I read the book." And I said, "In this movie, okay, there's a scene. It's so profound. You guys have to see it."
No, I've seen The Great Gatsby.
Okay.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
All right.
Yeah.
I've seen the old version and the new version.
I need to see the new version. I see that. Yeah.
We need to see the old version too. It's a direct reflection of the new version.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because because it shows how when the first movie came out back then and now, which is a much modern time, the thought process is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes. So, but there's a particular scene where they're bragging about being Nordic and how.
What's Nordic? What's that?
Nordic is like from Norway, from the Icelands.
Oh, okay,
right,
okay,
right,
okay, okay,
right.
Yeah.
Slavic.
Yeah,
Slav,
okay.
yeah.
So they
Yeah, I'm
were
in school
saying
tonight.
they were
Yeah.
saying how, because as you know, we got to keep the black people down. Oh yes,
They said that?
yes. They're having a dinner discussion, and now in the new remade one with Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have black butlers assigned to each person.
Mm-hmm.
That was not in the old version. So this goes to show you how much they wanted to dig that part in. They had all these black servants standing behind everyone, right? And then they're having their discussion about European domination and superiority. And then they go, yeah, because, we have to keep the black people down, And they're all in agreement, like, yeah,
Wow.
it's true. We got to make sure that stays. Do you know what can happen if we don't do that? So just seeing that.
They said that in the new movie too as well.
In the new one as
Wow,
well.
wow.
And the reason why I'm mentioning is because we need to start pulling
That's
the
real.
wool over our eyes, and we need to be honest about what is.
Wow, that's real.
And my wife tuned in. To tie that all in, right? I read the Willie Lynch letter. I read it actually 4 times.
Oh my goodness.
And then it said that this is one of, when he came, he said, Father, son, and countrymen, I've come far, and when I come into your land, I see dead bodies hanging from trees, waste of property. Why? To set examples for one another, so that one slave could be feared by you. No, I've come with a better way. It's not physical, it's psychological. And if it's followed to the T, it will last hundreds of years. First thing you do is you take the male slave. You take the male slave and you get 2 horses. You tie one end to one horse and you tie the other end to another horse. And then you knock both of the horses and make them run in different directions. You do that until the man screams and begs for mercy and he loses his manhood. And you don't only do that to him, you do that to him in front of his wife, his children, in front of all the other slaves. And then you break him. Once his balls rip, he's no longer a man and he's good for nothing. So you toss him to the side. Now the woman is dependent upon you and her children depends upon you. That's how you could control her. She looks at the man as weak and useless, and then she looks at you as the savior. To tie that into today, look at welfare. If a woman is married, she can't be on welfare because she's going to be over income. But if she has a lot of children, even if it's for multiple men, she gets by herself. She gets she gets shelter, food, and cash.
Do you know some of them, I'm hearing that they're doing house visits now.
Home visits, yeah.
Yeah, home visits to see if you have anything new in your home, anything modern, because that would connote that you do not need this and you have money. Because why do you have this flat screen TV? Where'd you get this iron? This looks like a brand new latest iron. It doesn't look like one of those old irons from a thrift shop that one would buy for $2.
So look, now
Right.
the woman has 1, 2, 3, 4 different baby fathers, no man in the house. These children are growing up with no father. They're on government assistance. The government basically owns them. If you beat that child, ACS comes, they take that child. You know why? It was never your child in the first place. You know, they paying for your shelter, they paying for your food, they paying for your food, and they're giving you cash in your pocket. That cash, you can't do much with it. You can't do much with $200 for the month. You can't. But they give you food stamps so you could buy food. If you go out to work, then they take it away. You go to work, you lack education, you can't make enough money to sustain yourself. So it's either you all the way dependent on them or you by yourself. The only way you could make it by yourself is either you got a very good job with very good education or you find a mate to help you sustain the household. But you're already stuck in a mentality where I see my mother do it by myself, I could do it by myself. Your kids grow up, they grow up the same exact way. And it's a systematic system. That's why they call it a system. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Like back in the days, they used to tie a bag over a guy's head and put him in a barn, and they would tie a bag over his mother's head, and they would make him sleep with his mother.
Oh, yes.
For what purpose and intent was that for?
To breed.
To breed.
That's
and
where
to dismantle that mother and son bond, and
that's where the term mother effer come from.
yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
My mind is blown away. I'm listening. I think the next time we need to talk about the wilderness letters.
I just want to say add one thing. It wasn't until 1860, because at one time it was outlawed for slaves to
be
read and
married
write.
and to be married too.
Right.
What was it outlawed?
They let them be married so that they can multiply.
Yeah, but it was not a legal marriage though. It was more like a civil thing, as in like they did not get rights as like a married couple, and they could not. Like a man slave could not give a woman slave his last name.
Right.
Yeah, because they were property.
And also to add on to it, I know that the Mandigos, they would go around and mess with the white women.
Well, they didn't want to. It's the white women, because but this was in retaliation because the white man was sleeping with their women.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the white women used to be mad that the white man saw beauty and attraction in the black woman.
You have saw a 30-year slave? A 30-year slave? Yeah. And a 30-year slave, the man was sleeping with the slave, and the wife found out, so she would beat the slave girl. She cut her face up. So
wow.
Yeah. That's how our skin color changed. That's why they got house Negro and field Negro.
Yeah.
Well, they did that. They only did that to start breaking into our bloodlines.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
To preserve their own bloodline.
That was to create the disintegration of the black man and woman, and by doing that, they would bed with the slaves and then have light-skinned babies, and then raise them to go against the dark skin. So this is where dark skin and light skin.
So it's basically divide and conquer.
But look, it's even deeper than that. The same thing happened in the Bible. Remember when the angels from heaven came down to earth, and it said that the sons of God saw the doors of man, they slept on them, and that was when the devil was trying to poison the bloodline before Jesus Christ was reborn as man, until the flood came and then they killed all of them.
Wow, continue my brother.
But it wasn't until 1863 that whites, actually it was the missionaries started teaching slaves how to read and write. But guess what book they used first?
The Bible. Because.
And let me tell you, it was the sword or the Bible. Okay?
And that's what the distortion.
It was the sword or the Bible.
And that's where Nate Turner comes in, because Nat Turner seen what they were doing, and you know what they did to Nat Turner? They skinned him alive. And the women made purses out of his skin.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they skinned him alive, then they dragged him.
No, they hung him.
Yeah, they hung him.
No, they hung him.
And then they dragged him, and then they flaked him. It's like when they peel your skin off. When they peel the skin off your body.
They use his body for everything.
Yeah.
To make leather in a car.
Are you serious?
It was like a trophy for them.
Well, that was... But it's not even just that. That's always to instill the fear. It's to instill the fear. Because the whole thing with them and us is that we really powerful. How do you break down a powerful person? Scare the living daylights out of them consistently to where they cannot have no room to breathe. Like when they look in the right, there's some horrifying. They look in the left, is horrifying. The front is horrifying. Everywhere they go, it's so horrifying that the submission is complete. That you won't get no issues out of this one. This one is actually going to tell you things that you ain't even anticipated.
Wow.
Like who's trying to run away and who's plotting and who's doing this. So this is where our loyalties,
and it's like that today
in terms of there's no support system, because that fear has been instilled generational. It's like a generational disease. It has never been severed.
It just changed. Everything changed.
Right.
Just like the police were first used to catch runaway slaves and to catch slaves that were free, that didn't have a job because it was illegal to work. But at the same time, all the people that owned companies were of a different race, and they wasn't trying to hire blacks. So then The blacks went back to jail. Once you're free until you're locked up. Then you become state property of state.
So you're free until you're locked up.
Yeah, then you become back into a slave once you get locked up. And today's the same thing. That's why prisons became privatized. Like, you could buy stocks in prisons. And the people down in prison, they're the ones that make the license plate. They're the ones that do all kind of stuff.
A lot of
cheap labor, 20 cents a day.
Private business are big business. A lot of stars, a lot of important people are.
Michael Jordan owns stock in prisons.
Yes, but he would have to, because he's not for the community. He doesn't even sell stocks in his shoe company. Jordan, it's a privatized company. Nobody owns a stock in Jordan, but you can own a stock in McDonald's, you can own a stock in Burger King and Wendy's. That's what people need to do. If everybody want to eat these clone foods that are destroying your spirit and your mind, producing artificial intelligence, then you might as well own it. Buy some stock in McDonald's and Burger King. Stop consuming the dead foods. It's not producing nothing but bad energy and bad mind.
But even the water's polluted, though. Even in the water, they put certain things.
Look at Flint. What's up with that?
The dirty water.
Well, you know,
and then this
Michigan is a very industrious place.
Yeah.
It's full of factories, so
they had to dump it somewhere, and it's a poor neighborhood, so they don't care about the poor.
It was just a matter of time before it started coming out about the water, but they do that everywhere.
Yeah.
They do that everywhere.
They said that they tried 5 people from Flint, Michigan for manslaughter because people died from that water.
Yeah.
But look at Steve Harvey cooning. It's like, oh, people in Michigan enjoy your brown water. Cooning.
Well, you know, he's not a righteous man, and you know that fame has blinded him.
That's true.
And blinded his spirit. So he's very egotistical. He speaks from an ego place.
Wow. That's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
This is the reason why our community is the way that it is, because we have individuals like him that are at the gate to keep us back, and then always they're not supporting the community.
Whoa.
They don't give back.
Whoa.
And they constantly have negative criticism to say about the plight of black people and how they're so lazy. And look at me. I didn't have nothing, but look where I am. Yeah, but nobody knows the things that he had to do to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they were not good.
Wow. That's real.
Shout out to Ernst, shout out to Sydney, shout out to all the people that's watching.
Shout out to everybody that is watching. Dad,
we had a deep conversation so far. We already hit an hour and we still going.
What time does the library close?
It's closed at 9, I think.
Okay. Wow. I'm going to continue with the scripture, or you guys are good? I mean, we can make an announcement, or you guys are good? Because this is a lot of...
I mean,
I'm blown away.
We just free talking, but it's one of the best conversations we had so far.
Ever. Wow.
Can I make a suggestion for our people? We should start detoxing. When you detox, not only are you healing yourself from trauma and pain, but you're giving your body a chance to heal itself. Because our bodies can heal at will.
That's true.
We are so powerful.
That's true.
Okay? And sometimes we need to be reminded in how powerful we are, because so many of our people don't like themselves. They're bleaching, they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Why do you think they're doing that for?
Because they can't handle the hate. They can't handle the hate that they're receiving, and there's no support system for our people. You see, Europeans, when they're so evil, they know how they know how to unwind and to regenerate themselves. They go on vacations, they go to see psychiatrists, they do a lot to nurture themselves back. And it looks
and
we don't do that.
We're in a state of mind where we think it's a negative thing to go see a psychiatrist. Or like, we rather buy a pair of sneakers or an outfit that costs the same price as a vacation. Think about it. If you buy a $200 pair of Jordans, $200 pair of pants, a $200 pair of shirt, that's $600 right there. You could have went to Miami or somewhere, and relax your mind and get away from these 2 blocks.
Because the priorities of our people complain about money, but they don't mind spending it on frivolous. Because it's not that our people don't have money. They have the money. If you can stand at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning on Black Friday in a long line, okay, to go consume yourself with consumerism, then you can invest in yourself.
Black people are the biggest consumers in America, I believe. Why do you think
cash cows?
All the other races move into black neighborhoods. The Chinese, the Indians, everybody's in our neighborhood making money off of us, except for us. If you go to a clothing store, who owns it? The Jews. You go to the Chinese food store, who owns it? The Chinese. You go to a corn store, who owns it? The Arabs. But how many black-owned business do you even see in black neighborhoods? Not much. We don't even want to invest in ourselves. And I bet you, if there was a black business, we wouldn't even trust it.
Facts.
We would be like, nah, I don't think so.
Because we
I'm
already
not going
taught
over
to
there.
not trust each other.
Exactly.
We was already, but this is all part of that slave mentality that is still embedded in people that they don't realize. They really don't. They really think that they are totally absolved, but no. When you're talking about a conditioning that was permeated from generational wise, your parents was teaching you things that came from that slavery background, unbeknownst to them. So it became a habit for black people not to trust. We don't support each other's businesses. We don't buy black, but we are quick to go buy white. Very quick.
That's a fact.
We'll spend that $200. We'll spend that $800 on that iPhone. That's a bad investment.
I'll give you a perfect example. You walk into a store, right? The first person to greet you in a clothing store is a black person. The person that'll go downstairs and get the shoes is a black person. By the time you get to a register, it's a Jew. You ever realize that?
My mind is blown. My mind is shocked. You see my face? I'm zoned. Like the wisdom that is being spoken. Wow.
I have to say that I'm so proud of you brothers for doing your community service, the diaper drives. Like, this is where it starts. It starts in a community, because the community is what can help to raise the village, so that the village can go back to helping to raise the babies. Because it takes a village to raise a child. But in order for that village to help the child, we must have a stronger body.
Yes.
In a community. Everything starts in a church. Like, sometimes after the service, instead of consuming with a bunch of fried chicken, macaroni, all this heavy food that brings people back to that negative state.
Because we the majority of our vegetarians. Wow.
I noticed that in the churches. I've passed through many doors, and I noticed that the foods keeps the people's spirits down.
Wow.
You can't come from such a lofty place and then smack eating pork chops, and you're eating, greasy foods that now brought your spirit down, and now you're giving somebody an evil eye. Now you're talking about Sister Patty's shoes. Now you're saying, well, look at this person. They only came to church because they want to talk to somebody. So now the level of the mind changes quickly once that bad food goes in the system.
True.
I've seen it too often, and I have said that's what the problem is. Like, what I've learned in regards to how it used to be, in antiquity, in terms of having divinity, because these are lost words. These are things that's not apparent anymore. Is because there were foods associated with that, like foods of the gods. There was a reason why they had sayings like that, because that's what kept people in that spiritual place. That's what kept people's hearts clean.
Wow.
Because when you ate clean, your mind was clean, your spirit is clean. So naturally, you feel compelled to want to do good because you're feeling good.
Wow.
There's no confliction. Like,
should
I be good today, or should I be good tomorrow? You know what I mean?
Wow.
So we need to change our eating habits, and once you change your eating habits, I guarantee you, everything else will change.
Wow, that's real.
You will attract that right mate. You will have good friends. You will attract more blessings, because now you're putting forth that good energy into the environment. Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, because they say it depends on how the animal was killed. If the animal was killed in a negative way and then you consume it, like that negative energy coming to you. I heard that before.
But look, in the scriptures, there's prescribed foods.
Yeah.
There are prescribed foods that the Most High has ordained. Why
book of Deuteronomy.
Why we don't go back to the prescribed foods that were ordained and to change these low vibrational mindsets. This get out of these ratchet ghetto mentality on hating, being jealous of this person because they look good, or this person has more than you, so you're mad at them. When that should motivate you to get just like how they did.
That's true.
So if you ate foods that are prescribed for higher consciousness, so that you can express your highest good of all.
Yeah, because just look at the demographic. If you go into a poor neighborhood, you see Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kennedy Fried Chicken, McDonald's, Burger King, this and that. But you go to a different suburb, all those things are spaced out, or they far.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
Whole Foods.
it's a different type of it's a different type of mentality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the music you listen to the food you eat. That give you high vibrations and low vibrations. They said that's why like certain music, they speed up the tempo. Like our bodies are not supposed to consume music that fast because it almost confuses the mind.
It disrupts the spirit, and it produces a different type of frequency. And it attracts low spirits.
That's true.
Because low spirits and negative spirits are attracted to low vibration. They're not attracted to purity and righteousness. You start talking like that, you won't find many people around you because they can't handle that. I have done a lot of tests with people, and it's amazing to see how people get very nervous, around me when I say certain words. I'll use certain key words out.
Like words, like for example, like what?
Like what I've been saying, like divinity, like it's so scarce.
Yeah.
So they're like jerk back, like divinity, like where that come from? Like, what do you mean? It's always has.
Yeah.
It's always been. You just.
But it's like what Nas said. People fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. It's just the fear of man. Mm-hmm. And then is when you try to. It's like what you're saying. When you choose to raise your vibrations and you choose to live a positive life and you reach in within yourself and then you feed that spirit within you and then you reach divinity and then you reach your center, it's like people can't mess with you, and people feel a way about that. That's because certain people that had the negative energy, you pulled yourself away from. Certain people that used to be around, you pulled yourself away from. So now, like, you're living a positive life. Like, you live clean.
Wow.
Like, I told one of my homeboys the other day, I'm like, yo, I'm with one woman. I go to work. I come home. I go to sleep. I enjoy time with my family. On the weekends, I go to church. I go to my mother's house. I enjoy life. I don't need to do negative things because I'm happy. Like, Like, I can honestly say I'm happy. I don't need to engage in certain things. Like, I don't got to smoke. I don't got to go to the club. I don't got to hang out with, like, 10, 20 people to justify myself, tell me if I'm cool or not, I don't got to go out and buy ridiculous stuff in the store. I don't got to buy a new outfit every week, I know who I am. Like, I feel like that comes with maturity and finding who you are. Yep. A lot of people, they're lost. They don't know who they are. So, like, they don't got a name for themselves, so they hide themselves behind name brands, So,
and they want to feel validated. They want to feel some form of appreciation through materialism because they don't know how to tap in within. They don't know.
Wow, that's real. Wow.
The lost ones.
I'm blown away tonight. You see, wow, from a guest. Wow. Oh man, this is real. Thank you. Give us your name again.
Lynn
Abraham. We are looking for more guests every Monday. Oh my God, I was so blown away. Virtuous in all sense. But we really want to let you guys know that also we're going to be having this diaper drive, which is very important because it's all about community service. It's all about giving back. We believe that the Christian experience is not just coming a Saturday or Sunday, reading the Bible, eating veggie frats, and just staying stuck to ourselves. We have to reach out to people and help people because we live in a society, in a community, in a country where people are hurting and they're going through things. Mm-hmm. And this is why it's very crucial that we're doing this diaper drive because there's a lot of our sisters who don't have it like that, who are not able to purchase diapers for their babies. So the thing is that we're collecting over 20,000 boxes of Pampers, 220 in each of those boxes, size 1 through 6. We're going to start with Brooklyn first. Then we're going to head out to all the 5 boroughs, including Long Island. And my brother's going to put the link up. Give what you can, even if it's $5 or if it's $10. Or if you want us just to come, if you just want us to come to your church just to promote this thing and just raise up an offering, that would be very much appreciated. And know that as soon as we get the diapers, we're going to need a group of people to go out to the various homeless shelters with us, the women's shelters, the family shelters, the projects, and people in the community that just need for their babies, and we're giving away for free to let people know, hey, we're here with you, and we support you, and we love you. So guys, give what you can, and we're also going to create a support system where we'll get your name, your email, and your number. We keep in touch so we can create that village, create that movement, because we as a people, we need to be unified as blocks, as a people, as a nation. That's what it's about. Mm-hmm. So give what you can and know that's all about love. And I'm looking forward. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Hebron, because they're going to give us something in 2 weeks. Also, we're going to be to another church that's also, Penny is also going to be helping us out as well too. Any church, any community activist you want to be participating with this event, we really need your help. We need your help. We can make this possible. Much love to you.
Much love.
Yeah. And so since my phone is only on 10%,
yes.
we went.
My phone died.
We've been going for a while. Like the lights done turned off in the building or whatever a few times. So we're gonna close out. You want to close out with a prayer? You mind?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? You shy? Don't be shy.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
All that stuff you was talking. You gotta close it out. Go ahead. We wait for you.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to thank Divine Most High for bringing us all together on this beautiful day to discuss something very important, which is love. And love is very important. Each one teach one. I pray that everyone has found some wisdom from tonight's show, and blessings to all.
Amen.
Amen.
That was sincere.
All right, guys. Thank you.
That was sincere, boy. Yo, they out there, boy. That's the hope.
All right, guys. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week on Monday at 9:30.
You can see 7:30.
7:30. Sorry.
Yeah.
7:30, and we see you next week. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again.
Definitely.
Good night.
Good night.